the founding generation studied a lot of the Scottish Enlightenment thinkers, and Thomas Reid was a predominant one. And he said that there were first principles, that they were self-illuminating, self-evident, if you've ever heard that phrase, common sense, that there are some things, he said, they're written by the very finger of God on the hearts of men. That there's something called a conscience, and there's something called guilt, and it's real, and it's there for a reason, and it's from God, and that when you hear truth, it is self-illuminating. You feel a light go on. You know that that is true. And it was those first principles that should be the foundation of all education, as they should be the foundation of a life and of government.
I have a graduate degree and I actually taught in college, but I think the education that Audrey's given us is among the best that I've had in my lifetime.
On particulars, of course, they quarreled. But when discussing fundamental precepts and ultimate objectives, they seemed practically unanimous. And if you know anything about their personalities, you know how different, how incredibly different they were as individuals. And yet, because of their commitment to the Bible, which we'll talk about next time, and absolutes, when it came down to what the founding principles were, they could agree.
I've run into people in the community who've listened to the teachings from Audrey and Blaine and have been impressed and amazed by their understanding. They have a broad comprehension of the principles and not just the issues. I think that anyone who listens to them will be benefited by the time and the effort they put into this.
Dr. Witherspoon, who was a mentor to Madison, the father of the Constitution, and many others, said this: "A republic once equally poised must either preserve its virtue or lose its liberty, and by some tumultuous revolution either return to its first principles or assume a more unhappy form." So he understood, if you actually put a republic in place, and how did he know this? Because he knew history. Because he learned from history, and he saw the cycle in Greece, and he saw the cycle in Rome, and he saw the cycle in the Middle East. And over and over again, when you had a republic in place, if the people didn't stay virtuous and understand the first principles, it ended.
We have got to learn the principles and the values upon which this country was founded, and that energizes us and gives us hope. So I'm going to continue to come to these classes and learn, and I'm going to share with my neighbors, and I'm going to share with people I meet everywhere, because we have to take responsibility for freedom. And the way we take responsibility, I believe, is to learn it and then to testify of it. There
is hope. There are answers. It doesn't have to be this way. There's a reason why we got where we are today, and that's what this series of lectures is all about. It's about how we got to where we are today, and when the country understands how we got to where we are today, they can begin fixing it. But as long as they think that it's because there's just happened to be some really wicked people in place right now, and as soon as we kick them out of office, everything will be okay, they're never going to fix it. Because it's in the very fabric of the country, and most of all, it's in the people's hearts. There's hope in knowing what the truth is, and there's answers in obeying it. And if we can start with ourselves, then we can begin to teach others.